We want to work in a clean facility. We want to work where we're going to be safe. Our kids are going to be safe. Our families are going to be safe.
Welcome to The Real News. I'm Jess Lenore. Frontline workers are staging walkouts across the country to protest unsafe working conditions amid the coronavirus pandemic, which has resulted in skyrocketing orders. Last week, Amazon fired Chris Smalls after he helped stage a walkout from a New York warehouse to demand its closure so it could be sanitized after employees tested positive. We spoke to Smalls last week.
Everybody's coming together now in solidarity, and that's exactly what I wanted, because we're going to need that to obviously take down these billionaires that's collecting all this blood money, while the people that have the power, I want you guys to know that we have the power. We're the one that's making them rich, so how to hurt them? Stop their money. Walk out. Stop working for them.
Over the weekend, Amazon workers in Chicago held their fourth strike after at least 2 employees tested positive for COVID-19. The pandemic has hit Chicago's communities of color particularly hard. African Americans make up nearly 70% of coronavirus deaths in the city, even though they are just 29% of the population. Well, we now go to Chicago to speak to an Amazon worker who has been taking part in these strikes. Christian Zamaron, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
So you took part in this strike. We have that footage showing all these cars that came out to support you. Talk about why you're striking right now. Obviously, we're in this pandemic. People are being told to stay at home, and people are being told don't go out to the grocery store. They're being told don't go out for supplies. So it makes sense that people are ordering stuff on Amazon and other online services because they're trying to stay safe. But what position has this put you in?
Well, we're striking for our lives, and we're striking for our health and our safety and for the lives of our loved ones. Amazon is putting us in a real difficult position. To the world, they're saying that we're heroes, but inside of the warehouse walls, they're treating us like we're disposable, like we're trash. They're putting us in a real hard place. For those of us that have loved ones at home that are sick, or have diabetes, lupus, etc. It's putting us between a rock and a hard place, because it's like either we go to work and make the money that we need, and then we're bringing the virus home potentially, or we stay at home and we suffer financially. There's all sorts of situations that they're putting us in to ship to ship the goods that people need, but it's also angering because a lot of the stuff that we're shipping is not essential.
So Amazon says they've implemented social distancing. For example, they said they fired worker Chris Smalls, who we just heard from. They said they fired him because he was not abiding by social distancing, and he disagreed with that when we talked to him. But they've said they've had cleaning supplies. They're taking measures to address your concerns. How do you respond to that?
They're using social distancing actually as a way to police us, and as a way to keep us from talking, and as a way to target us. So when we were outside striking, that's what they would come out and yell. Dominic Wilkerson, our site lead, and the other managers, they would come out and yell, "Y'all need to stay. Y'all need to be apart. Be 6 feet apart. Be 6 feet apart. If you don't leave the property, if you're not 6 feet apart, we could terminate you. We could suspend you. We could write you up." So they're using it as a way to say like they're keeping us safe. During the work process, they're still making us. I mean, they say that they're not. But to do the work, we are coming within 6 feet of each other, and for that, they don't look too closely. They say they do, but they don't. They just let it slide. But when it comes to us standing up for our rights, that's when they really get on us about it, and that's when they say, okay, yeah, we're gonna write you up for that. They're using it. They're using it to control us, and the police are too. Same exact thing. They called the police on us, and that's the first thing that the police said. Make sure you're social distancing. Make sure you're social distancing. Move over here. Make sure you're social distancing. And then the sidewalk was really like narrow. So then when they told us that we can't be on the Amazon property and that we had to go to the sidewalk, They were just getting on us for not social distancing. How can you social distance if the sidewalk is so narrow and then we can't go on the street? You know, they were just trying to corral us.
And so, you know, you've obviously heard of Chris Smalls, who got fired. Has there been, you talked about some of those warnings that you could get terminated for taking part in that protest. Talk about what the message has been from the management to the workers who were taking part in this. You know, some of the Amazon workers I've talked to in Baltimore have said that they viewed Chris Smalls' firing as sort of a he's basically made an example of for other workers to not be organizing and not be taking these actions.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're trying to scare us. They're trying to intimidate us. It's very clear that that's what they're trying to do, and we're not falling for it because we know that they're trying to scare us so that we get all divided, so that we get quiet, so that we stop doing what we're doing, so that we stop speaking out. But it's, I mean, we're fighting for our lives here. We're fighting for our lives and for the lives of our loved ones. So there's nothing that they can do or say that will scare us. We're going to continue fighting regardless. And I mean, honestly, we were laughing about it in the break room last night because they think that we're stupid. They think that we don't talk. Like, they think that we don't know what they're doing. We know exactly what they're doing. And we faced people like them our whole lives. So it's a little insulting to think that they could scare us in this manner. You know, some people do get scared, of course. Some people do get nervous. But at the end of the day, we have to think about what they're trying to do and why they're trying to do it. And we have to remember what we're trying to do and why we're trying to do it. And we know that we're in the right. So that's why we continue to fight.
And lay out your demands.
Oof. Well, the main one is to shut Amazon down for 2 weeks with pay. And we're talking specifically at DCH1. But I think that applies for basically any Amazon facility that has a positive coronavirus case. The reason for that is because even if they say that, okay, we're hiring more janitorial staff to clean, et cetera, we're doing social distancing and whatnot. Even if they clean it, like, the thing is that the virus is living within us. There's not enough tests, and Amazon isn't testing us to determine who has it and who doesn't have it. So even if they clean that place real nice and clean, any of us comes back with it and we're carrying it, if we're asymptomatic and we're carrying it, it's going to infect other people, and the warehouses are just going to continue serving as a vector of infection, basically, of virus spreading. Some of the other demands is one of the most important ones is that we need the information immediately. We need to be able to make an informed decision for ourselves as to whether we come in or whether we don't come in. Amazon has taken a long time to tell us when there's a positive coronavirus case. And they don't tell us all of the details. There's some laws, you know, like HIPAA laws or something like that they say, you know, that they can't give us all the details for. But still, like, they need to tell us as soon as possible. And they need to tell us, like, at the beginning of the shift or as soon as they know. Because so far they've been telling us, like, in the middle of shift, and they've been going one by one, you know, so that and telling us not to tell other people. Let managers tell other people to diffuse our anger and keep us separated, you know, just let that shock kind of like sink in. And then, like, just be like, oh, what do I do? Do I just continue working? I guess I'm already here, so I might as well stay here. Instead of, you know, if they tell the whole group, then everyone would get, you know, would start having questions at the same time. So they're really, at all times, they're trying to individualize, always trying to just divide and conquer. So that's another one of our demands. Another one, I mean, this quarantine pay thing that they announced, they need to actually give it. And they need
$2 an hour. Is that right? $2 an hour extra.
So that's a little bit different. That's like the hazard pay. We also have a hazard pay demand in there, which is we're demanding 1.5 times the pay. Right now they're giving us $2 an extra an hour for working in these conditions. We're saying we need at least time and a half. Honestly, it should be double, but we're saying time and a half.
Jeff Bezos is worth over $100 billion.
Richest man in the history of the world. What's he need that money? We need it. We need it. And our communities need it. And he has enough money to pay for all of this. I mean, he's building clocks in mountains and building his spaceships, and, you know, he's envisioning a future society and that where, like, the industry is no longer going to exist on Earth. We need that money now. Another one of the demands, the quarantine pay that I was mentioning, that's so Amazon made an announcement saying that they are going to give quarantine pay to people that are diagnosed with coronavirus or people that have to self quarantine. But they're not actually giving it out to most people. The great majority of people just encounter barrier after barrier. We're saying remove those barriers. People need that if they're taking care of their loved ones, if they have children that they need to take care of, or if they themselves are feeling sick or uncomfortable, like going to work because they don't want to infect other people. They should be able to get that quarantine pay without all those barriers. And there's some other demands too, but it's a total of 7 demands. I don't have the paper in front of me. Sometimes.
No, that's all right. I also wanted to ask you, we know that communities of color, working communities are the ones that are being disproportionately impacted by this, which is the heart of Chicago, the heart of many of these, many cities, New York, Chicago, you name it. In Chicago, African Americans make up less than 30% of the population, yet they comprise 70% of deaths. So who is really paying the price for this? Can you talk about that as well?
I mean, the people that work at Amazon are, the people that work at Walmart, the people that work at all of these so-called essential jobs. And I mean, some of this, our work is essential, but we're not treated like we're essential. We're treated like we're disposable. Just at work last night, I spoke with a coworker. She has, I think she said her cousin just passed away. He's 25, Black. I saw a Facebook post of another coworker. She also had a relative that passed away, also because of COVID-19. We're a lot of Black folks, a lot of poor folks already have health complications. We already have no health insurance or just poor access to healthcare, pre-existing conditions due to a number of systemic reasons, and then we're still forced to work or coerced in some sort of way financially, or whatever that is, and we're exposing ourselves to more risk, bringing that to ourselves and then bringing that to our loved ones that we're also taking care of. That's why the number is what it is. It's not a surprise. No one is surprised about it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll keep following, your story and stories of workers around the country, and we'll be checking back in on you and seeing, how you're doing, how the communities are doing all over the country, and if Amazon takes your demands seriously and actually answers, these basic safety concerns that you're raising here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us at the Real News Network.
Thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate it. But do us one more solemn favor. Hit the subscribe button below. You know you want to. Stay up on the videos.